Well, welcome, folks. This is Between the Posts. My name is Tony Neal, and joining me is Sean Jacko Jackson. How are you, Sean?
I'm good, Tone. How are you, mate?
I am sensational, mate. Coaches! Oh, I'll tell you what, wouldn't it be an exciting time? It's finals, there's coaches that are up and about, and then on the other side of the equation, a couple of coaches just stepped aside and a couple thinking about it. So we'll run into that a bit later on in the show. Mate, the scores, I'll tell you what, up, down, 3 games. I was at a game watching. I was then watching you guys on the phone.
Good.
And checking scores of the other game, and we'll cover that when we get to Division 1, because I'll tell you what, the head was spinning around and around, and one team's in and one team's out, and were they, weren't they? Finals, what's ahead of us? We discuss all that. We look at some of the scores over the time, and a couple of matchups that are coming up as well across the divisions. Big news and a couple of surprises in there. Interviews, of course, we're going to look at Sportal this week.
Right. Good.
With some really good stuff on their scoreboard. It's the bells and whistles this week. I love this bit. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. So we'll have a bit of fun with this. And then we've got a big announcement from Sportal as well.
Right.
Continuing on, we've got all the awards, and we also look at around the league. So I hope you've got your cuppa ready now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a moment.
G'day guys, the Simon Black Academy is all about education and sport. Our partner in education is Torrens University, where our students either do a 1-year diploma course or a 3-year Bachelor of Business. Around that we run a football and athletic program based here at Norwood Oval, and it's all about trying to develop and take our students' game to a new level. Around that also, our third pillar, besides education and football, is personal development. If you want to get involved, check out our website, which is simonblack.com.au.
All right, it's time to go around the league and find out what made news across all of the divisions. And Tony, we'll start with Division 7, the CMAX Clinical Research, because I know you were thinking about donating some of your time to CMAX. No.
I did have a line for that.
It's the easiest money you'll ever earn, mate.
They went to put the needle in that bent, mate. I've been to the gym and the energy's back.
Oh,
so I'm right to go. Anyway, CMAX Clinical Research, enough about us. Greenacres, as you would expect, a pretty big win over Adelaide Lutheran, 81 points. Matthew Gibson kicked 6, Thomas Tucano 4. This is what I like, 9 goal scorers. So a real spread of goal scorers, and they were strong. They kicked 4, 3, wait for this, 6 and 7. In the last 2 quarters. So very good effort by Greenacres, right up there at the moment. Okay, we go to the second game, and of course Houghton District played Flinders Uni, who are playing finals for the first time in a long time.
The
well
Crabs.
done. Yeah. Have you? CMAX.
Not this week, no. The Crabs at Flinders Uni.
Yes. Anyway, Houghton got up, and 25 points at 3/4 time it was, looking like they were going to win big, and they only won by 7 points. Only kicked 2 points in the last quarter. Aidan Pitt, though, kicked 4 goals. 4-3 to 6-2 in the second half.
I know you love your quarter and your half-time scores. All I want to know, mate, was the game played at Houghton?
It was.
They got to play a home final. Fantastic.
And this week, Adelaide Lutheran play Houghton Districts. They've played each other 3 times in the last 4 weeks, with Adelaide Lutheran winning round 17 by 5 points and qualifying by 21 points. But this one's at Price Memorial Oval.
Jeez, you've done your homework, Tone. There's no doubt about it. Thank God you're not working.
The internet is a wonderful thing.
All right, let's have a look at Division 6, the O'Neill Sportswear. No surprises here, folks. Marion took care of West Croydon. Margin was probably a little bit smaller than you would have expected, 10 points. See, Stewart kicked 7 for Marion and Ages 6 for West Croydon. And in the other game, Central United, far too strong for Rosewater, got up by 5 odd goals. Lane kicked 5 goals for Central United. So no real surprises there. Next week, Trinity will come in after having the week off, and they one of the few sides that have yet to lose a game this year, Trinity. So look forward to them playing against Marion. Of course, West Croydon will get to front up against Central United and have another crack at it. Give us a look at Division 5. Tone?
Yes, Wakefield Sports Clinic Division 5, Hectorville. Now, they had a 41-point win over Jeps Cross, very strong win. They had 8 different goal scorers, so I know I harp on about this, but a spread of goal scorers. And this team very important in the finals. They won all 4 quarters.
Oh,
However,
well.
we go to the second game. Colonel Light Gardens defeated Eastern Park by 76 points.
Just one thing on that. Those two sides, Hectorville and Jeps Cross, played against each other the previous week in the last minor round game at Hectorville.
Yep.
Same, different result. So that's how funny footy can be sometimes. So
Same
Jeps Cross beat Hectorville
Ah, yes, I'm with you.
last minor round game.
Yep.
And then lost the week after.
And that's
By
what
a
can
significant
happen.
margin.
Yes, and beware the teams that are sitting out on top winning by miles, because we've seen that happen in final series as well. Teams just fall by the wayside. Be careful. Colonel Light Gardens playing Eastern Park, 76 points. Now, remember what I said about 8 minutes ago?
Yeah.
They also won all 4 quarters. 8-goal first quarter set up the game. Cooper Schultz with 7, Paul McInerney with 6, and one of our favourites here, Nicholas Patterson,
Pato.
kicked 4 goals.
Oh.
That was a big win. This week, Jeps Cross play Colonel Light Gardens. So this will be a big match-up down at Duncan Fraser Reserve and Lockleys. So this is the one we're waiting for, isn't it, to see how Lockleys go, having won a grand final, 2 years ago. Lockleys play Hectorville in the second semi.
See, interesting to see how many goals Haran ends up on. All right, let's have a look at Division 4, the 9 News division. And I'll tell you what caught my eye here. My team, Paraka.
Oh, hello.
Get on Paraka. 18-8. Took care of Walkerville 8-9. 10-goal
Nice.
margin.
Nice scoring too, accurate.
Baker and Rankin both kicked 4 goals, but they are coming. I've been saying that for weeks now. They are coming. Well, they've come, so to speak. They've won their first final. They'll play in the they'll play in the first semi next week against the loser of Plimpton and Hope Valley, which was Hope Valley, who lost by 6
Noticed
goals.
that, yes.
And at Pembroke, I'm not sure this is, they finished top, 14 wins, 4 losses. I'm not sure they're a lay-down bazaar.
Shaky.
Yeah,
ground.
well, their finals record hasn't been too good, so...
I've got something special if the match-up comes, but we might have to wait a couple of weeks for that.
Oh, okay.
The old Pembroke Kings, great
Yep.
song they've got down there. I know a bloke who invented that song. Anyway,
Right.
go on, you done?
Oh, that's enough.
You've got a few favourite teams, haven't you? But you're allowed to have one in every division, though.
I reckon
Because
you
there's
got...
something coming up in Division
So
1
there's
as
my
well.
Paraka, and that's my tip, Paraka in Div 4. I'm going to go for a roughie in Div 3 too when we get to Div 3. Let's,
All right,
In fact, let's do Div 3 now.
Here we are, the Division 3 sip and save.
Oh.
Flinders Park, 3 points. 20 point the margin at quarter time, close at every break. It was 20 points, then it was 4, 2 and 3. That is a final. But for Modbury, the losing side, Liam Verity kicked 5 goals. The only worrying sign I see there, 10 goals they kicked for the game. They only had 4 goal scorers.
Oh,
So it's very minimal.
Right.
Edwardstown versus Westminster. Do you want to say anything about Westminster this week?
Westminster. Oh,
It's over. Let's move on. So Edwardstown.
It's not over. It's not
20
over, let me tell
It
you.
is for them. This 27 points. I love this bit. 8 different goal scorers. Let's move on to this
Well,
week.
I've got to tell you something that really funny that happened in that game.
Oh yes, funny in a final.
Scotch C grade played the prelim game before. So instead
At
of
that ground.
Yep. So instead of playing at the normal C grade time, 10:15, the C grade played at 12:15.
Oh, no.
So Scotch won, I think, the B grade the C grade, and at the end of the game, they formed a guard of honour for Edwardstown. And cheered Edwardstown onto the ground. Now, I thought that's hilarious.
I think that, look, we know what's going on and everything, but that's a bit of fun banter sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
takes umbrage with that, and you can almost see the funny side to it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So
Well, when I
please
first-
don't send emails in. But
when I first heard it, I thought maybe they've got to line up
That
and
is
do a guard of
fantastic.
honour and boo Westminster.
Yeah.
That would have been even funnier. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know if you can remember Malcolm Blight got the Geelong players to do a guard of honour for the Crows when they were coming out onto the ground one time at Footy Park.
Yep.
That would have been funnier. But look, hats off, Scotch. I think that wasn't a bad idea. All right, that's it for Div.
No,
Oh, you got more?
you just
Well, keep going
the way
then.
you went. It's called innovation, and that's what the footy or sport should have, isn't it? A bit of
Yes.
innovation and spur of the moment stuff. It's funny how it just falls that way. Okay, this week, here's the big one, Golden Grove, mate. And we see these teams, this is great. The battles over the last few years. Golden Grove play Flinders Park with the winner going through to the grand final. It's the second semi at Harpers Field, Golden Grove, of which they've got several ovals to choose from. Go
Yep,
on.
thought I had a scoop for you on Golden Grove. Don't know if you noticed, but last game, Josh Glenn played for Golden Grove. Kicked 4 goals, was in their best players. Now, Josh Glenn was suspended by ASADA for some sort of stuff in his system when he was at Nord.
Be careful.
Don't be careful, Tony. People want to hear this stuff. He played. Now, I'm not sure why they played him. He doesn't qualify for finals. That's the only
no.
game. He only played the one game.
Really?
Last minor round game, Golden Grove played Josh Glenn in their team. Now, whether that's about trying to secure him for next year, but I would have thought, given that you're going to have a week off, you'd want to be looking at every possible player, because that means one player has to miss.
Also, is it 22 players now
Yeah,
in
it
the
is.
final? So you actually get... So 2 players have to come up.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
a bit of a bizarre one for me there, but
You have done your homework.
well, if they could pick him up as a player and he can get on the straight and narrow, he's a very, very exciting player. I thought he was in and I went, wow, gee, I've already got a lot of really good SANFL and AFL experience in their side this year, Golden Grove, but that would have just topped them up.
You get that in a Sunday Mail. My Sunday Mail doesn't have that kind of information.
Oh, no,
I'm reading the
Tone,
wrong paper.
I keep my ear to the ground.
Oh, as opposed to me walking
Yeah.
around with my snout in the air. Anyway,
The only reason my ears to the ground is because someone's booted me on a Saturday night when I've had too much to
well.
drink, but move on. What do
and
you got?
there is a lineup, I understand, from several clubs throughout the league. Modbury versus Edwardstown in semi-final number 1. This is a huge game because the loser goes out.
Who are you
That
picking?
will be... I'm not picking anyone, Sean. I'm just reading out what the game
come
is.
on, mate.
Edwardstown.
Right, good.
There you go.
Courage.
I'm not picking anyone, I will.
I'm going Modbury.
All right. Well, maybe that should be another buddy bet.
Yeah, well, let's have 2 buddy bets this
All right.
week then, okay?
I'll give you one thong, and if you win next week, you get the other one. Righto, let's get on to Division 2, Zig and Zag.
All right, Division 2, what happened there? North Haven played Henley in the elimination final.
Yes.
And, well, for Henley, it's season over. Will Vinny Regolo retain his coaching job at Henley? Some rumours going around that, well, I'll throw this one at you.
God.
A man who played a lot of AFL football at the Adelaide Crows has been coaching in the country at Barossa League. He's putting his hat out there, looking for a coaching job, and I believe Henley is one that he's sniffing around.
In general, he's looking.
He's looking, but
Lives out
yeah, not sure whether. Good luck, Vinny. I hope they're not coming for you too hard,
That happens.
like they did with Benny Rutten. All right, so yes, good win to North Haven there. And in the other game, Broadview played Athelston. Interesting enough, the best player for Broadview was Jesse White, would you believe?
He's come good, peaked
They-
at the right time.
Put him in the ruck, word is. My mail was he wasn't necessarily best on ground, but you have a look at the 2 best, Jesse White and Xavier Gotch. There's a bit of experience there, isn't there?
Just quietly.
So they took care of Athelston. I believe there wasn't much in it at half time, but fairly significant win in the end, 11-16 to 6-6. Kobe Russell kicked 4 for Broadview. So this week, Broadview will play Sacred Heart.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
some late breaking news on that. The game looks like being it has been transferred. Was going to be at Sacred Heart Middle School. It is now going to be at Glenelg Oval. So
Is that right?
good venue
Wow.
for that final on Saturday. And the other game will be Athelston versus North Haven, and that'll be at Max Amber at the new, what do we call Athelston's Oval?
Well, I think it's sort of like a cauldron.
Palace.
Yeah, it's sort of like a cauldron. It covers the whole wing.
The resort, actually. That's what it's known as, the resort.
The resort, speaking of which.
So that's Div 2.
Righto, time for the
old dark navy blues.
Buddybet Division
We're
1.
the team that never lets you down. Oh, sorry,
Fairly-
Tony. We're on. We're live.
Fairly tipping that's not
We're
the
back
Carlton song, mate. What the... Is that Glenunga, the Rams.
Ganunga, mate.
Oh, fair
Where's
dinkum.
the wagon?
You are fair dinkum.
I am
The only thing
leading.
is, I know you've pumped them up the last week. Are you an actual financial paid-up member? Or has it been gifted?
I tell you what,
Ambassador,
Nath,
that's the word.
you can get Benny to send me out an invoice.
Oh.
If you get up this week, I will become a paid-up member of the Glenunga Footy Club because I am, at the moment, I am a paid-up member of the bandwagon. I'm just not a paid-up member of the club. If you win this week, my hand goes in my pocket. I'll send the invoice to Johnny.
Jesus.
I'll pass the hat around.
You'll be in that little marquee that they have set up there next year.
I'm fond of a dollar. So I don't
You'll be
give 'em
able
out-
to MC it. On game day, there you go, you past players.
I don't
and-
give them out too easily, but
Yeah.
gee, haven't they been exciting?
Well, let's
we're going to talk about them? All right. talk about
Glenunga defeated Prince Alfred by 18 points. They won 3 quarters. That was enough. They kicked 2-1 to 3-1 in the last quarter. And as I said, I was watching that on the little screen and listening to you guys, watching another game and getting the scores of the third game. So tell us a bit about the game, Sean.
Okay, well, let's start by saying we prefer people who are watching and listening our game to do that exclusively.
I've got 3 eyes.
Okay, all right.
The mind's eye and these two.
Well, you
So-
missed a cracker. If you missed bits of it because you weren't concentrating fully, you missed an absolute cracker because I think I've been saying for the last couple of weeks Prince Alfred were my favourites to win the flag.
Yeah.
I picked Goodwood Saints at the start of the year, then I've just gone on the Prince Alfred bandwagon a few weeks ago. But I said the test would be against Glenunga at Glenunga. Well, what a test it was, and they stood up, Glenunga. Woo! Did they stand up? And did we get some entertainment? We had the van parked right next to
Oh, no.
the coaching box at
Yep.
Glenunga. And I tell you, Nath, thanks very much, mate. You made my day. The excitement that came out of the Glenunga people. It was good crowd. Oh, it was a great day. The sun was shining. I'm on the bandwagon.
Yeah, so that's great. We've got the peripheral. What happened inside the white
Oh, I
line?
wasn't watching what
How
was
did
going
they
on
win
in
it?
the middle, mate. I was just
it
watching the scoreboard.
Body on body? Was it cutting off the runners? How did they win the
Oh,
game?
you're asking me to analyse it, cut it to pieces. Oh, look,
Did you listen to Phil?
I think it's pretty clear for everybody watching Glenunga that their pressure game is the best in the competition. And this is why I give Nathan a lot of credit. I don't want to give him too much because he's already starting to strut around Adelaide a little bit, but their pressure game is the best in the competition. When we went through their side before the game, there's only 2 players in their side that I could think of that have played league footy, SANFL league football. Against PAC, who had 12 or 13 that I could readily see that had played SANFL, if not AFL footy.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
fantastic effort. Look, the thing that concerns me for Glenunga for next week is their forward line. Tommy Langford's been back. He's probably only played a half a dozen games. He looked in really good nick at the start of the game, and he gave him a real good focal point. Well, he came off, and it didn't look good. So that's a concern. But the other concern is Condon, who kicked 3 goals.
Yep.
He's been in sensational form. Unfortunately, he hasn't qualified for the finals.
Oh, is that right?
He's only played the 3 minor round games, so he misses by 1 game. What they needed is to be able to get his name on a team sheet in the C grade earlier on against someone, but unfortunately he hasn't qualified. So their forward structure is going to look a bit different next
So
week.
that's interesting because, as we said, 22 now. So if 2 go out, touch wood, but let's just say if 2 go out through injury, 3 come in.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess the one thing I will say about Glenunga is there's a bit of a myth that goes around that says, you know, a lot of coaches and teams will say, 1 soldier out, 1 soldier in, and I think it's the biggest load of crap that's ever been spoken, pretty much. I mean, I've probably beaten it myself a few times, but
Talk to Clarko about that.
yeah.
Go on.
But in Glenunga's case, because they're not a team full of stars,
Yep.
they seem to cover players pretty well with injury. So, look, it's going to be a cracking game next Saturday. I won't be here for that one, but they're going to be up against Goodwood Saints.
Goodwood Saints. We'll
at
come to that in
Goodwood,
a moment.
And I think they did beat them there. Yeah. So anyway, where did they win? Well, they won because they were just tougher around the footy.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, okay, I've got a theory on that, but I
Okay.
won't share it just at the minute. Second game, St Peters defeated Payneham Norwood Union, 57 points. I was actually at that game watching. There were a lot of mud patches on the ground, but it's
Pay to
knowing
get
how
in?
to play it. Of course I did.
Right.
Payneham Norwood Union were pressured. on a lot of their possessions. They had no goals to half time. Pretty much 57 points. Let's get it done and move into the finals. Any thoughts on that one, Sean?
No real surprise for me. That would have given St. Peter's some real confidence. It also enabled them to pinch fourth spot and get a home final.
Correct.
So I'm not sure the percentage difference between the two, but, well, not a lot, was it? Less, 0.5% roughly.
120.53 to St. Peter's and Prince Alfred 120.09.
Yeah.
So not much point.
So all that swung on the last game. No real surprise. Will Jeremy Cheney stay on as the coach at Payneham? Stay tuned for that. The answer on that, I guess.
All right, come to our 5 in a moment, but we'll go through this. Port District Old Ignatians. This is the one that I was getting the live updates. 2 points, Old Iggy's won. They were 19 points down at half time. They kicked 7-6 to 4-3 in the second half. Really saved their season. And just on that, I would say at 9 o'clock Saturday morning, if I was a Ross Trevor person, with all due respect, I would have thought, yep, we'll be right. We'll be in Division 1 next year.
Yeah.
And huge upset, I would suggest there. How do you see it, Sean?
Well, I just wonder when Ross Trevor found out. Were they confident enough going in that they just assumed that Old Iggy's would not beat Port Districts, or did they have someone there, or were they tuning into the live score?
Good point. Yeah.
When did the Ross Trevor boys and the coach Benny Watkins, when did they find out? Because that would have felt like a kick in the guts. 11 years, longest surviving college side in Division 1 for 11 years. Ross Trevor. So I think the end of the era for them. So.
All right, come back to Old Iggy's. How did they win? What do you think happened there with Port District? Or very well done by Old Iggy's?
Well, I think we spoke a few weeks ago about Payneham playing Port Districts. Remember 10th beat 1 at Port Districts?
Exactly
this
right.
was 9th beat
Round
1
13,
at Port Districts.
Yep.
So I'd suggest to you that says to me that Port Districts are a bit fragile mentally.
You've hit the nail on the head, mate, when we get to the top 5. Every team, there is a kryptonite in every team. There's no, and with all due respect, there's no standout that's gone, we're up there, come and try and get us.
Yep. Now, I give them some credit. If I was coaching Port Districts, I would be more concerned about the first half than the second half, because it is hard to keep players motivated on the second half of a means nothing to Port Districts.
Well, 19 points up.
Yeah, so you're 19 points up. You probably think you got the job done. You tend to start doing some things that you perhaps shouldn't do. The effort is not there in the second half, and well, all of a sudden, team gets on a roll, and it's good night, Dick.
You've got to stick to structure, because you're coming into finals. Number one, it's easy for us to sit here. We're not there on game day and everything. So with all due respect, but we both coach. Stick to structure and start practicing for the next week, and make sure you've got all your rotations right. Every player on the ground knows every movement, because I saw some things on Saturday that were a bit disturbing from one team. But knowing when your rotations are, what they are, who does what, etc., and it doesn't matter how much you win by, you've still got to win the game, you've still got to kick the goals.
Well, I think what it shows you that Division 1 is the closest it's been for as long as I can remember. First of all, we have a side in Ross Trevor getting relegated on 7 wins. 6 wins normally assures you stay up. So it happened last year with Adelaide University as well. So Penny Watkins is pretty stiff, 2 years in a row, 7 wins and getting relegated.
My note at the bottom there, Sean, if black is in your colour, be very wary next year, because both teams going down have got black in them. Payneham and Ross Trevor and Adelaide Uni had black in them last year, so be a bit careful next year if there's black in your colours. Yeah. There's the omen. Anyway,
three clubs finished on 7 wins too. Brighton, Old Iggy's, and Ross Trevor. So percentage can be pretty important, can't it?
6th to 9th, 9 wins and 7 wins.
Yeah.
So there's only 2 games difference. A very close season. Let's get to Goodwood Saints versus Ross Trevor. Goodwood Saints 8 goals, 16 they kicked, so a bit of inaccuracy there. 21 points. Rocks had 1 goal, 11 at half time. Goodwood only had 5 goals, 4. They kicked 3-12 in the second half. Is that a concern?
Yeah, possibly. I guess the other thing we probably should reflect on is that the percentage for Ross Trevor was 80. So their percentage wasn't even close. Some people will say, I know Blighty likes to say it, for example, the percentage is a really good indication of your year, and 80% is just nowhere near good enough, is it? So they were a fair bit off the pace, even though their win-loss was the same.
Probably finished. Yeah.
And Saturday's score reflects that, doesn't it? 8-16 to 6 goals, 7. Yeah, Goodwood Saints, I'm not sure. The first final is scheduled to be for Goodwood Saints at Goodwood Saints.
Yep, that's correct.
But as of today, there's a fair chance that may not occur. They'll need some dry weather the next few days for them to have a home final.
And it's going to pretty much be wet and rainy all week. And as I said, St Peter's ground was cut up in certain places as well, and they've got the final as well.
And they've got a lot of games there on Friday, school games on Friday. So, well, there's going to be some boggy grounds, I reckon, this week.
So, yeah, as I said, 3-12 in the second half. Let's go to Brighton versus Tea Tree Gully, and Tea Tree Gully got up by 2 points. Brighton were 13 points up at three-quarter time. Tea Tree Gully kicked 4-4 to 2-1 in the last quarter and come out the winners on top. That was our last game. Any thoughts there? Because coach...
I'd say that's a great win for Tea Tree Gully to do that at Brighton. Brighton are pretty good at Brighton. So for them to come from behind at three-quarter time, Alex McKay's last game as a coach, he only came in on late notice as a playing coach. We all know it's hard to be a playing coach in this day and age, so he's decided he's going to stay on as a player, but his coaching days are finished for now. He has aspirations to come back when he finishes playing. So there's a job for anyone looking for
great job.
Coaching job. Tea Tree Gully are looking for a coach, but no, that was a fantastic win, I think.
Yep. All right, so we look at the ladder. As I said, Port District, Goodwood Saints, Glenunga, St Peter's, Prince Alfred. Each of those teams, we could pick through it. We won't spend that time on it now, but there's fragility in each of those teams. Each one. There's an opportunity for a team to get out there and do something this year. Two bottom teams, of course, Ross, Trevor and Payne, and we've spent enough time on that. Our games this week, Goodwood Saints play Glenunga at Goodwood. Any thoughts on that one, Mr Glenunga, number one ticket holder?
Well, I think my boys...
Oh, hello.
I think my boys will play that ground beautifully. I think, and Goodwood Saints, don't get me wrong, Goodwood Saints have always played their ground exceptionally well. It's a smaller deck. It's going to be about contested footy, and that's Glenunga's number one wood, contested footy. Yes, I've mentioned already they're going to be missing a couple of key forwards, but I tell you what, I think my boys can get the chocolates there.
Righto, St Peter's Prince Alfred at St Peter's. I will just say St Peter's have had, they had a little bit of a dip towards the end of the season, but they've had 2 good wins, and I think they come in with very good form, Sean.
Well, it's good to see one college side will finish on Saturday. That's the best thing I can say about that, Tony.
You've coached old scholars, we both have, so...
Exactly.
Geez, I love them.
There'll only be one old scholar side left in the competition after next Saturday. Who will it be? I think it'll be PAC. I think PAC will beat St Peter's. All
right, well, we beg to differ. Let's have a look at the goal scorers now. This is very interesting. We've got the top 22 goal scorers going to come up on your screen. So when we go through it at this point, because it does continue on into the finals, but Jock McClay up there with 45 in front. So we've got some of the teams that aren't in the finals. So Nick Murphy on 43, which was close, and Brody Latham, Tea Tree Gully. But out of the 22, St Peter's have got 4 players that are in the top 22. Goodwood Saints next. So their highest was Nick Burgess with 32 out of 17 games, the same as Jock McClay, 17 games. They've got 4 players in the top 22. Glenunga, this is interesting, finished third on the ladder. They've only got 2 players. 18 games, Michael McMahon kicked 29, and 13 games, Fletcher Wisman.
The Wiz.
Wisman?
Known as the Wiz.
Wiz? Wonder why that is. Fletcher, I don't know. Anyway, 19. But they've only 2 players. So that tells you there's a spread of players that can kick goals, maybe?
Well, the other thing it tells you is that Glenunga don't score a lot of goals. So if you have a look at the points for Glenunga, they're 11.46. They're not are they the lowest?
Well, so I beg your pardon. Ross Trevor aren't far off that. And
Glenunga points for are 13.12. So they've got Prince Alfred covered. Everyone else they're behind in points for in the 5. So
yeah, look at Tea Tree Gully, 14-14.
Yeah.
But it's the against as well. So then you go down to Port District. So Dale Pearce plays 16 games, kicks 28, and they've got 3 players in that top 22. So it's an interesting one when you put it up there and start to analyse it, as I do, and we go through it. So that is our goal scorers. That is the wrap of Division 1. Sean, the broadcast game this week.
Yes, there will be a game broadcast. It will be
Here it is.
St. Peter's Old Collegians versus Prince Alfred Old Collegians. We think it'll be at Caterer Reserve, but more details on that later in the week. It should be a cracking day. There'll be, well, let's face it, those schools hate each other.
And
Hate. Don't worry about Crows and Power. St. Peter's and Prince Alfred, they can't stand each other.
And we can share, you're going on a little
You don't like
hiatus.
either of them though, do you?
Oh, love them all,
Right.
mate. Love them all. You're going on a little hiatus. And,
Won't be here this week, yes.
No, but that's allowed because we've got the big finals coming up and you've got to go away and study the form, work out your buddy bets because at the moment you're way ahead there as well. But we welcome you back in 2 weeks' time. And of course you will be watching, you did say you were going to...
I'll be watching it over in overseas and
Didn't you say you were studying some other commentators?
I'll be resting my tonsils over there and just giving them a bit of
Yeah, bit of varnish.
lubricant.
Bit of varnish.
Correct.
All right, folks, that's our big Buddy Bet Division 1. We'll be right back after the break.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Well, folks, we're down here at the Banner Crew. Our friend, supporter and sponsor of Between the Posts has joined us. Welcome, Jason Goods.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be with you.
What can the people out there expect to buy from the Banner Crew and get looked after?
Pretty much anything that you can put your club logo on or a message from the club, whether it be, like you mentioned, a marquee or a flag or an A-frame or a banner, a stubby holder, a pen, anything like that, anything that you can pop the club branding on. Everything's customisable, so basically we've got an in-house design department with 2 graphic designers that can work toward getting the message across that you're after.
We're down here at 318 to 326 St Vincent Street, Port Adelaide. Jason, thank you so much for your support. Well, welcome back, folks, and we have been promising for a couple of weeks, and I'm joined by Darius from Sportal at the moment. How are you, Darius?
Good, yourself, Tony?
Mate, I am so excited. We've talked up about the Sportal scoreboards. Tonight we're going to have a little bit of a look at some of the features, and the first one is the countdown into the game. Imagine the players with their buffers on this. Can you give us a demonstration, Darius, please?
Punch clip.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yep.
There it is, and game on. And of course, we can do that with whichever club and whichever teams it is.
That's right, home
we
and
can
away.
Put them up, home and away, and just how exciting. Our next feature, and this is the one that I think most clubs will be interested in, the sponsor advertising. What have you got for us there, just
So,
as
like,
an example?
for example,
please.
Quarter time, 3/4 time, half time. The sponsors
that
for the home.
changes as well.
Yep.
And of course, this can be your local club, your local sponsors can have their photos, their logos, any wording they want. It can
That's
be
right.
Also a film, little
Exactly
video,
right.
whatever.
Little TVC.
So this is just a quick example of just basic stuff, and of course it expands from here. The other thing, while we're talking about this, there is an open invite for all clubs, which we'll be discussing in a moment, to come down and see a live scoreboard in action. We'll be promoting that in a moment. This is one of my favourites. We will go to the animations. So this is during the game?
During the
Might
game.
be a player's kick the goal or something?
That's right.
Yep.
Let's say someone kicks like a torpedo or something
Yep.
special. There's an example of a generic goal sting. So
Oh,
Yeah.
look out. That is sensational.
something
That would,
everyone can get around and
that would set the game alight.
That's right.
And of course, you can also add the animations to that, which we've seen, which we might be
Exactly
able to
right.
pull up and put up as well. And then, of course, the last one is the replay.
Exactly
So, you know, we film through Dartfish, we film all the games, and it would be great if we could get a replay up live, and this is what we can see.
And
So wonderful features, and these are only a quick grab.
That's right.
Of
That's right.
what I call the sizzle. We're actually looking at some of the features, so it's more than just a generic scoreboard.
That's
There is
right.
so
That's
much
right.
more that can be done, and all of this is just through your phone.
at the tip of your fingers, exactly right. Yeah.
And so one person in charge at the club, they can look at the goals, or you can have two kids doing it. Can
right.
they do this from a computer if they had a computer set up in the
That's right.
warmth of the club room? And they can be working together. One can be putting the scores up. One goes, oh, there's a goal, press a button, and it's that easy.
That's right. And you can delegate certain features. So if you want only the timekeepers handling just the time, they don't have to worry about the rest of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as we showed the other weeks, folks, there's also the yellow card feature, which we've already shown, and that can be up on the board. It's a community announcement board as well. So if you're in the country or you're somewhere local and it's your past players day, your president's luncheon, you could do welcome to the ground, whatever it might be, it is, the world is your oyster, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Because you can be filming something and it goes direct up onto the scoreboard. So I think this is super innovative for 2023 and beyond. So Darius, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony.
Sportal, how do we get in contact with you down here?
Our best bet is our website, sportal.gg or www.sportal.gg. If you shoot us an email at contact@sportal.gg, that'll work as well.
And those details will come up on the screen as well. So thank you so much for hosting us down here. And
Thank you for having
we'll
us.
be doing the next few weeks from here as well. But these scoreboards are just phenomenal. Each week we come in and see more and more. The clubs are in contact as well. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cross over to John Noonan now and just find out a little bit more up close technology, because it works in the sun, it works in the rain. They're portable, they can be fixed. And also we're going to talk about the invite that is available to all clubs to come out and see this working in motion. So thanks so much, Darius.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I've moved over here with John Noonan. Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Mate, I am absolutely fascinated. I know the board holds up in rain, no problems at all, but we were demonstrated these little louvers. Tell us about this with sun, because you get direct sunlight on them. Are people just going to have glare back at them? What happens with this?
So the whole concept is that these louvers were built explicitly and designed to allow these boards to operate in direct sunlight. So when the sun's at midday and burning down on the screen, If you don't have these louvers on them, you won't be able to see the screen. But that's what that's for.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you were telling me as well, a lot of people out there say, yep, we've got to keep up with technology, you know, we're ready for a new scoreboard and so on, and you can go out and get the scoreboard that we demonstrated before. It's so much more than 2 hours on game day, isn't it? You're saying 24/7.
These screens are all built and designed and fabricated to run 24 hours, 7 days a week. And the reason is because we want people to think of a scoreboard as more than something that just performs the function of a scoreboard on game day. This thing can not only do advertising, but at training, for example, the coach can use it to put up training runs and different drills on training day. But, you know, in between time, of course, the sponsor gets to advertise their name all the time. And
well, a lot of clubs have business luncheons, business breakfasts. They use their rooms for many other things. And imagine having a function on and there's the name of the function up on there. The other one where I see it interesting, clubs train Monday to Friday. I live behind the ground. They have university teams come out and do other things. They play frisbee games and all this. So it's not just one thing. But even for the junior clubs that train through the week and the women's, the ovals are getting used 5 days a week through the week for training and then twice on weekends. And a board like this will be going all the time.
Well, one of our clients, footy and cricket clubs, said, "Oh, look, we like the races, and we've got KO as KO. We've got a KO subscription for the club. Can we put it up on the scoreboard as a smart TV?" And I said, "Absolutely." So this can perform the function of a smart TV. Have the little KO symbol up there, press the button, and up come the races between the overs. So there's really nothing you can't do. Imagine on grand final day, you didn't get a ticket to go to the MCG, but the club decides to stream the grand final live on the board at the club, pulls all the club in, drinks, food, all enjoying the football yourselves.
And you watch it on a massive screen, not in the rooms where the 5 people at the front can see and the 50 down the back can't.
Correct.
It is absolutely phenomenal. The other thing I'm super excited about, because I'll be first in line coming down for this one, the open invite for all clubs.
Yes, next Tuesday, the 30th of
30th
August.
of August, yep.
Jeps Cross, the new Football SA soccer stadium there.
Yep.
Big grandstand on pitch 1. There's a big function centre in the grandstand.
Yep.
And there's a 3x3 Sportal on their main pitch. And for 2 hours from 10 until about midday, we'll be talking all things Sportal, software, hardware, demonstrating it on the big screen. And
That is just phenomenal. So that's Tuesday the 30th of August at 10 a.m. Rain, hail or shine, doesn't matter because we're in a function centre. You'll see the scoreboard. You'll see what it's like to be in a club rooms and the scoreboard off in the distance and what you're going to see. And fair dinkum, you will be blown away by them because we've seen them over the last few weeks and just some of the technology. So, John, thank you so much. I know we're going to be seeing a lot of you over the next few weeks, months and years. And the clubs, I know, are getting in contact with yourself and Steve and the staff. And there are so many features available. So get down there on Tuesday the 30th. As we say, do yourself a favour, 2 hours of your time, but it'd be well worth it and a great investment. Time, energy and effort, we've talked about that before, in your club for the future. So thanks so much for joining us, John.
Thank you very much.
Nine News, teaming up with the Adelaide Footy League. Tom Wren on the ground at your club for Thursday Night Live, strengthening communities through footy.
Righto, folks, welcome back. And around the league, 9 News Live, the Adelaide Footy League would like to thank all the sponsors for their support in 2022. I Know D works closely with all of them, and their generosity and ongoing support for this campaign is incredible. The clubs are appreciative and love the visits every Thursday night, and of course are very grateful for the, wait for it, 500 big ones, Sean, donated by the Police Credit Union. To all the camera crew that work with Dee, each visit to get the best shots, I know that she says a big thank you. 16 visits this year, what a tremendous effort. 9 News Adelaide, the Police Credit Union, Villies, Powerade, Little Heroes Foundation, O'Connell's Meats, Central Market, 5AA and West End. Righto, Sean.
Yes.
Time for our Buddybet wager.
Righto. What's the bet?
Thanks to Buddybet, we're going to have a friendly wager on Goodwood versus Glenunga. We'll have a donut again because I might be able to get it back this time.
Yes.
Oh, have a look. I wonder who you're going for. I love this time of year, Jacko. It's finals fever time for Buddybet and they start their campaign this Saturday. Why will Glenunga win?
Well, it's obvious, Tone.
Because you're wearing the scarf.
Because I'm supporting him. Grimes will give me a call Thursday or Friday. We'll talk tactics.
Yeah, and then you go away.
Oh, I'll be on speed dial. No, don't be ringing me late Friday night because I just won't be taking your call. But they will win because they are hungry. They are hungry. Tony.
All right, well, I think Goodwood.
They're not hungry.
I think Goodwood because they've got 3 colours in their jumper.
Right.
No, I love Goodwood down there. They know how to party huge after a game. They all get in there. The culture down there is fantastic.
Yep.
And it's what happens in the 100 minutes on game day. Control the nerves and adrenaline. They've been there before in recent times.
Yes.
They know how to win big games.
Yes.
So I think Goodwood. Right. So Goodwood versus Glenunga. Be sure to download the Buddybet app if you haven't already in order to have a friendly wager. But after all that, remember to always gamble responsibly.
Good. All right.
C-Max.
Yes. Now, did you see the umpires at the Division 1 Women's Grand Final last Saturday?
I did, Sean. I've looked at the photo many times. Resplendent.
Yes.
With their sponsorship.
As you know, C-Max have numerous clinical research trials going all year round. Check this one out.
Complete a medical study and be rewarded.
Correct. They have an upcoming study for healthy participants for a 3-night stay for the study of Kenny's disease. Nelson, there's a lot of people that are struggling to get rental properties. Right, the market's pretty hard. My suggestion is just go back-to-back trials, and you never need a house to live in. You get paid for it. Won't need a house.
Well, you work your way through the body, couldn't you? Start at the head and work your right. Do they do ingrown toenails? We could go everywhere. Start at the top and just work your way through. Just keep donating.
So your address will be, I think it's North Terrace in the city. Not a bad spot to stay. Sneak out a couple of times a week just for a bit of a walk.
I think when you apply,
yes,
because I've had a bit of a look,
yep,
you do have to wait a month or 2 in between, I believe, studies.
Right, okay.
So, because you couldn't get in, could you?
All
I'm next in line.
eligible participants get paid for their time. That's the thing you need to remember, Tone.
I'm more concerned with giving my body to science, mate. The temple.
Appreciate that. Yep.
All you're worried about's the reward.
I just don't want to see you nude, to be brutally honest with you. Want to get involved? Visit CMAX to register your interest or call them on 1800 150 433 exclamation mark. Oh no, that's the end of the sentence.
Righto. Right. What's the awards for this week, Shawnee?
Awards. Come on. What have we got? Okay, so...
You were there?
Yeah, I was there. Tom Bilby from Glenunga. He
from
won...
where?
Glenunga.
Oh, come on.
He's another one on the wagon.
Come on.
Yes, you're guilty. I'm recruiting them as we speak. Are you on for the same bet? If they win, you're going to get membership?
Yeah, I'll donate my CMAX payment.
All right. So Tom Bilby won the $100 Belgravia Apparel Sports and New Balance Award.
Ooh,
so thanks, and more importantly, or not more importantly, but as importantly, he won the Dartfish beanie. So he's been seen around town wearing that, Tom. So well done to you. Who else? Tommy Condon.
Yes.
Him. He's just
kicked 3 goals, did he?
He'll be leading the cheering on the weekend with me. Well, I won't be there, Tom. I'll get this scarf to you, Tom, and you lead the cheering.
What did he win?
He won a carton of Powerade and some Archie's footwear for the Simon Black Academy Play of the Day.
Tell us, what did he do, quickly?
Kicked a magnificent goal.
We'll see that. We're hopefully
we've
got vision.
Well,
magnificent.
That should be in our goals of the day, week, month, year. But anyway, we'll get that on the screen. And Darcy Mitchell, he won the Team Player of the Day, which was the $100 voucher from the Mosley. And when we gave him, he said, "Oh, that's good because I love the Mosley."
Oh,
and you know who owns the Mosley, don't you?
Yes.
The Duck. And they're playing against the Duck this week, so...
Might have to give it back or take him down there.
Well, how about Luke? If you were a smart coach, you'd ring Darcy, you know he's an important player for Glenunga, you'd offer him a $100 voucher in advance for him to lay down so he doesn't play well this week against you.
what I would say on the other
Sure.
side of that is you can only use it on Friday night, and it's only this week.
Correct.
Get in there and blow $100 across the bar. Wouldn't be the first.
Change it to 500.
Turn up Sunday.
Darcy, you can't
just
lose.
drive straight there from the. Well, no, drive there.
Yep.
Catch the
Okay,
tram.
so the mark of the week, that was brought to us by Bianco Construction Industrial Supplies. The winner was Peter Rhodes from the Flinders University Football Club. Now, he would be a Rhodes Scholar.
Peter
wouldn't he?
Rhodes Scholar.
Yep,
yeah.
Yep. So he wins a $100 Bianco Construction Supplies
George,
voucher.
yeah.
And the goal of the week, brought to you by 5AA and SIP and Save. Well, that was Brian Lay from Seaton Ramblers, and he won a $50 SIP and Save
Ripper
voucher.
it was too.
5AA will be in contact with you, Brian.
Fantastic. Would we
They're
be
all the
taking a
awards.
break?
Let's have a break, folks.
But Mahuda goes all the way. Where again, Mahuda?
Good grab by Anjana, then Crone late. It's Anjana the Grey. Anjana.
Hillholders went home best.
Life on the wire, Twitchy Frank. Twitchy Frank.
Classic legend, Wild Planet kicking back, Crone dashing through, will beat the lot of them, Crone!
Laugh coming out, and they reach the line. Nearly a dead heat.
But this is speedy and professional. Profiteer for Mickey D is going to win easily.
Eden continued to open them up late and won very impressively.
Welcome back, folks. Well, it's come to the end of the show. Are you feeling a bit cooler? You've lost your scarf? Oh, you
Yeah.
packed it already. You're ready to go, aren't you?
I'm taking my Glenunga scarf away with me,
Oh,
Tone.
tell you what, don't wear it out and about. People will come for you. You know, they take rings and watches and everything when you're on holidays. Now, you got something there for us, haven't you?
Well, what have I got for you?
Team of the year?
Well, I just wanted to make sure the players understand there's not a lot of time left to put your stake in the ground if you want to make the team of the year. We obviously picked a team at the halfway mark. Some of the coaches that have got pretty big currency at the moment, Nathan Grimer. Could you give it to him already?
Don't ask me, you could. Isn't it the premiership coach?
Well, it used to be, but I reckon we might make an exception if Nathan doesn't get to the grand final or win the premiership. So that's something to look forward to, folks. The team of the year not far away. Well, yes.
Don't forget when you're selecting your teams this week, 22, not 21.
22 players can play in the finals, yes.
Oh,
this
that?
week's broadcast game will be at St Peter's. I mentioned that already. St Peter's versus Prince Alfred Old Collegians.
Correct.
So one college side will be gone. So hopefully the other one won't be far behind them.
Poor John.
What else I got? That's probably all I got for you, folks. I won't be here next week, so I apologise.
You've checked out already.
I'm pretty much out of here already.
Who's on? Who's on with me next week?
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous Phil. The dulcet tones.
Sensational. Professional.
The show will go to a new level.
Which
I'm not sure how high
Ross
that level.
Trevor or Glenunga?
Yeah, so you'll have to work that out when you get here, but we all know Fabulous does a great job. So folks, just remember, wherever you may be, may your shots always go straight between the posts.